guys, I'm Laura Vitale, and in this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I'm turning one of my favorite donuts, which is a Boston cream donut, into a cupcake. We are making Boston cream cupcakes. Let me know if you do want to see my Boston cream donuts. Comment down below, and I will definitely bring those to you. But these are one of my husband Joe's favorite treats because they've got like a really moist cupcake, and it's got a vanilla custard and a ganache. I mean, come on. They're perfect for parties, perfect for get-togethers. Kids love them. I mean, enough said. The ingredients you'll need to make the actual base, the cupcake, are very simple ingredients. You'll need all-purpose flour, baking powder, some salt, unsalted butter that's been softened at room temperature, a couple of eggs, some granulated sugar, vanilla extract, and some milk. That's it. Simple and easy. Now I've got my oven preheated to 350. I also have a non-stick muffin tin or cupcake tin sprayed really well with non-stick spray. Now normally I would use cupcake liners. I'm not going to do that because I'm going to cut these in half, and I tend to think that there's a little bit of waste, or it just doesn't look as pretty when I take off the wrapper to cut them. It just looks much neater if I just take them from here, and then cut them. But you cannot, if you don't have a non-stick muffin tin, then I would definitely suggest using liners. Okay. In this bowl, I've got my dry ingredients pretty much mixed in already, just with my baking powder and my salt. And now in this bowl, I am going to cream together my unsalted butter and my sugar. Now, if you follow me on my vlog channel, which you definitely should, then you'll know that recently I ordered this. It's like it's a cordless mixer. So I figured we'd give it a shot. I'm just gonna cream this together. It'll take, I don't know, a couple minutes maybe. To my creamed butter and sugar, I'm adding eggs and some vanilla extract. Now I switched to just a hand whisk because I am impatient, and that just takes a little bit longer than I'm willing to spend making a cupcake batter. But it's really handy because it doesn't need a receptacle for you to plug it in. So just kind of cream these together. I'm going to add my milk. Do not panic if your mixture looks like it's curdling. It just does. But then the second you put in your dry ingredients, all will be well with the world. And isn't that always what we want? I'm just going to take my whatever butter and sugar I had on my spatula. I want to just take it off because I want that in my batter. So just whisk that until it's nice and combined. That looks so good. Okie dokie. Shake that all off there. Take your spatula, run it along the sides just to get everything incorporated. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to fill my muffin liner, my muffin tin, with my batter. And I always use a handy dandy ice cream scoop, as you all know, just because it makes life really easy. All the cupcakes or muffins or whatever you're using this for, they all come out about the same size, which it's great because that means they all will bake evenly. So you're not going to have any that are too cooked and some that are not cooked enough, and all that fun jazz. Okay, now these are going to go in your preheated oven at 350 for about, I would say, anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes. Just check on them. It should be done around the 18-minute mark, and then you let them cool completely. But as soon as we pop these in, we're going to make the vanilla custard. It's going to go in between. I mean, it's outrageous. Let's be honest. Now, for the cream, I am making my nonna's crema di casa, which is just her traditional cream that she uses for pretty much anything. And I made a bigger batch of this for my fruit tart that I did with her while we were in Italy. But this is just a smaller amount because we don't need as much. So it's really easy and really simple. In this saucepan, I'm adding all my ingredients, which is some whole milk, egg yolk, and then I've got sugar, flour, and a pinch of salt. And I am going to whisk this to combine it with my little silicone whisk. And I'm using this whisk. I got a lot of questions about why I'm using the red whisk in my saucepans, and it's just because this is a silicone whisk and I don't want to use like a wire whisk or anything like that because it'll scratch the bottom of my pan, and I don't want to do that. So once you have everything mixed in, I'm going to add in, this is vanilla paste. You can use vanillina or you can use vanilla extract, of course, but because I want this to be pretty strongly vanilla flavored, because a lot of people use like an instant vanilla pudding for this. I don't like to do that because I don't think it truly tastes that good, to be honest. I like to always make my own because I like to control what's in it. I am just going to cook this over medium heat, stirring constantly until it thickens, and it'll only take I don't know, 7 minutes or so. So keep an eye on that. And then I got a bowl with a sieve because I'm going to strain this once it has thickened beautifully. You can see that's thickened beautifully. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pass this through a sieve because any little lumps of flour that didn't get mixed in well, we're going to eliminate them. They're not going to go into the finished product because you're going to pass this through a sieve. And that's really easy. I mean, I just take my wooden spoon and swoosh it around. I mean, it smells fantastic. I mean, you do not need to use instant anything when you can make your own crema di casa that quickly and that easy. And you see in there, you got little lumps there of flour. That's why I strain it, because I don't want to be able to get, I don't want that in my finished product. I want a smooth custard. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I am going to cover this with plastic wrap, but it's really important that the plastic is actually touching the surface of the cream, because that way it helps prevent the cream from, you know, creating that crust on top of the cream. It's like a skin, really. I'm just going to do that. Pop this into the fridge until it's completely cold. It'll take a couple of hours. The cupcakes are baking. They'll take a couple of hours to cool completely, and we are well on our way to making amazing Boston cream cupcakes. My cupcakes were in the oven for 18 minutes. They've cooled completely. My cream is in the fridge. It's ready to go. So it's time to make the ganache topping. I've got some semi-sweet chocolate chips here and some hot cream. This is heavy cream that I just kind of warmed up in the microwave just to make life easier on myself. And I'm going to let that sit there just like that. And then just for a couple of minutes, because what's going to happen is that hot cream is going to perfectly melt the chocolate when we go ahead and stir it all in. It's going to be perfect. So I'm going to let that sit there. I'm going to let it cool for just a couple of minutes. I'm going to get my little cake stand and we'll get ready to put these things together. After a couple minutes, you are ready to stir this like crazy. You can see it starts to change color, starts to go like a really weird brown color. And then the more you stir, the more the chocolate melts and the more glorious it looks. Look at that. I mean, that took what? I don't know, a couple seconds. Now I'm going to just set that aside because I want to kind of let it sit and set for a few minutes. In the meantime, I've got my cold cream and I've got my cake stand. I'm going to show you how this goes. I'm going to take each cupcake, kind of cut it in half, like so. Now you don't want to add too much cream because then it ends up being just a giant mess. And what you're essentially making is a little cupcake sandwich. I'm going to put that right over there, and I'm going to continue to do that until they're all done. This one's going to be my personal little cupcake, so I'm just going to make sure you don't put too much cream. Also, what you can do, if you don't want to cut it in half like I did here, what you can do is you can hollow out the center and just squeeze the cream in with a pastry bag. I'm not going to do that. I like the look of how they look when they're cut because it reminds me more of a Boston cream cake. That's why I do it this way. Then you take your ganache that's been sitting for a couple of minutes. Now just take some, and I literally just spoon it on top, and I just swirl it, and I let it go where it wants. The point of this is that it's exactly that. It just does what it wants. It looks pretty. I don't know. I just like the way of things looking the way they want to look. I just don't like to do things too perfect. I don't try to make things look perfect. I just like for things to look homemade and not like you tried too hard. Do you know what I mean? That's why I just like to do that. Kind of force it a little bit to cover on all four sides, but at the end of the day, let's be honest here. It's going to go right in your mouth, right in your belly, because that's what matters. That's what people are going to do with it. They really don't care if you brushed this on, piped it on, whatever. Just doing my last little one here. Oh, I'm just going to cut this in half so you can kind of, can you hear the baking angel singing? I didn't put too much cream in there, otherwise it would kind of make a mess, but look at that. Phenomenal. That truly is the perfect ending to any occasion. They're sweet, but not too sweet. The homemade vanilla cream definitely shines through. The cupcake itself is just perfectly sweet, nice and moist. The chocolate is just that thing that kind of rounds everything together. The recipe will be on laurainthekitchen.com. If you make this recipe, please make sure you tweet me a picture. You guys know I pretty much retweet any picture that comes in. I always love seeing what you guys recreate. Send me a picture on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. I always love being able to interact with you as much as I can. I hope you enjoy spending time with me, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.